Oh, hi there. Santa's Little Helper is a story I wrote for one of my great-granddaughters. In this case, it was for Casey. Although I put Casey as a character in this, if you're reading this to one of your children, you could put their name in instead. So, here we go. Santa's Little Helper. Go to sleep now, Casey, and remember, no peeping. Okay, Mum, I'll go to sleep. It was Christmas Eve, and Casey had no intention of going to sleep. She was determined to stay awake and see Santa. She held on to her Elfie doll and said, I'm going to stay awake and catch Santa, Elfie. Casey tried her best to stay awake, but soon she was fast asleep. Casey woke up with a start and looked around. She had to rub her eyes because she couldn't believe what she was seeing. She was not in her bedroom, but in a strange place where everything was covered in snow. There was a mountain not far away, which was also covered in snow. At first, Casey was scared, but then she saw a figure walking towards her and waving to her. It was Elfie, but not a doll, a real Elfie. Elfie called to Casey. Hello, Casey. I'm really glad to see you. Santa is in trouble and needs your help. Come quickly, or none of the children will get their presents. Casey and Elfie walked towards the snowy mountain, and when they got nearer, a door opened to the side, and they both went in. They're inside a huge cavern, and Casey could see lots of toys everywhere. There were toys of all sorts, train sets, dolls, every toy you could imagine. Winding around the cavern there was a track with rollers. The track was full of toys, and Casey was amazed to see lots of elves at different points picking up toys and placing them to one side. We're at the North Pole, exclaimed Casey. This must be Santa's grotto. Elfie took Casey into a room at the back of the cavern. In front of them, in a large chair, was Father Christmas. He was just as Casey had imagined him, except that his right arm was in a sling. I'm so glad to see you, Casey, he said. As you can see, my arm is injured. I was very worried that I wouldn't be able to deliver the Christmas presents, but if you help me, we can save Christmas. I'd love to help, Santa. What do I have to do? Said Casey. Santa replied, follow me and I will show you. Casey followed him, and he said, first, let me introduce you to my reindeers. Santa introduced each of them. These are my friends. Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donder, and Blitzen. As they were introduced, each reindeer dipped its horns and tapped hoof on the floor. But where is Rudolph? Asked Casey. Santa replied, Rudolph is resting, as he has to lead our sleigh tonight in case it's foggy. Santa showed Casey the sleigh the reindeers pulled to carry him and his presents. It's okay, Casey. I will be with you on the sleigh to show you where the presents need delivering. But I can't deliver them to houses. Will you deliver them for me? I'd love to, Santa, but how will I get down the chimney? Said Casey. I don't go down chimneys, he said. I have a special magic key, which will open any door. Casey looked worried and said, how can we possibly deliver all these presents in one night? There are so many places to go. Santa laughed and replied, you must remember, Casey, that Christmas is a magical time. For us, it is speeded up many times, so we can cover big distances. You will see we can deliver all the presents we need with lots of time to spare. It's almost time for us to go. Follow Elfie and he will give you some elf's clothes. Casey followed Elfie into a room which was full of clothes, and soon Casey was dressed in elf clothing. She looked in the mirror and said, "I do look funny, but I like being an elf." Casey clambered onto the sleigh, which was loaded with sacks of Christmas presents. Father Christmas took the reins in his left hand and whistled quietly, "Away!" he called, and the sleigh began to move along the ground, and then suddenly into the air. They were flying. "We are near our first stop," Santa said. "Will you find bag number 1 for me, Casey?" Casey picked up a bag with the number 1 on it. "I got it, Santa," she said. Santa landed the sleigh on the lawn of a house and told Casey, "Take my magic key. Go into the house and leave the presents. Some people leave me a mince pie and a drink, but you can have them if you wish to." Casey took the key and the bag and went into the house. It was just as Santa had said. There was a mince pie and a glass of lemonade. She ate the mince pie, drank the lemonade, and went back to the sleigh. "Thank you," said Santa. "Now for the next stop." At each stop, Casey took the magic key and a bag of presents and delivered them. All through the night, Casey and Santa travelled all over the world, delivering presents. Strangely enough, the pile of bags on the sleigh never seemed to get smaller. At one stop, Casey exclaimed, "That's my place." Santa said, "Yes, Casey, you can deliver your presents, but no peeking." Casey delivered the bag of presents, and she didn't peek. Eventually, all the presents had been delivered, and morning was approaching. "Home," said Santa, and the reindeers flew swiftly back to the North Pole and landed gently in front of Santa's grotto. Father Christmas turned to Casey and said, "Thank you, Casey, for your help. Without you, Christmas would not have been possible. Thank you for saving Christmas. Now you must change quickly. It will soon be morning and you will need to get back home for your presents." Casey changed quickly into her own clothes and said goodbye to Santa and the elves. Elvis told her, "Close your eyes, Casey, and say home." Casey closed her eyes and said home. When she opened her eyes, she was back home in her bed. "It was just a dream," she said, and was quite disappointed as she thought she had really met Father Christmas. Her mother called out, "Come down and open your presents, Casey." Casey had lots of presents and was very pleased to get the one she had asked for. Her mum was looking at one parcel that was wrapped in Christmas paper with pictures of Father Christmas. "This is for you, Casey. There's no card, so I don't know who sent it. But there's a message written on the side which says, 'Thank you for your help, Casey.' Have you any idea who sent this?" Casey looked at the parcel and was sure she saw one of the pictures of Santa wink at her. Casey smiled and replied, "I don't know, Mum." Of course, she did know, but she couldn't tell her mum that she had been Santa's little helper. She wouldn't believe her. Would you? Well, that's the end of the story, but I usually, on my stories, ask some questions like these. This tells me whether they've listened to the story or understood the story. There's quite a few questions here, 12, I think. Such as, what was wrong with Santa? He had a broken arm. Can you name the 4 of the reindeers and so on? So I hope Casey will like this. If you read to your children, I hope they will like it. But remember, you can replace Casey with their name. There are plenty of stories on my YouTube site, Kenneth Mallison, in one word. So bye for now.